Welcome to the Wellness Show. I'm Dr. Keisha Christian, your host. So glad that you've tuned in for today's episode. Well, I hope everyone is enjoying this Christmas season. It is such a beautiful time of year to reflect on the entire year, but also to enjoy all that comes with this season. I love this season for so many different reasons. Number one, it really tunes in to our nervous system, our five senses. First of all, we hear lovely carols that just embrace you. Hearing them on TV, the different shows that are presented. You may be playing them in your home. You may be hearing them on the streets or even in the stores for when you're shopping. Two, the second sense is smells. We smell the delicious treats of cookies and cake and candy and pies. We are able to taste those as well, which is lovely. So, you know, the olfactory and the taste definitely work hand in hand. Also, touch. Our sense of touch is just touch one another and give each other a nice hug of friends and family. It just really puts a stamp on the wonderful joys that you experience in the season. I love the season so much because it allows us to take a moment back and really reflect on and enjoy the reason for the season. And so many of you have also shared with us how you have been enjoying the season, and we thank and appreciate you for doing that. We hope you have a wonderful season that's filled with joy and yet not stressful, not too much in a rush, but one that you can really enjoy, revel in it, savor it, and have a wonderful time. For those of you who have tuned into the Wellness Show in the past and seen many of our episodes, we thank you so much for tuning in with us and sharing with us this season. This is our first season that's so exciting, and we have thoroughly enjoyed it. We've enjoyed presenting so many different professionals and sharing medical conditions and how to prevent various medical conditions and ensure that you are having and experiencing a life of health and wellness. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, we welcome you and we thank you for joining us today. We are so excited to have you, and we hope that you enjoy this season. We have today as well as we have an upcoming season. Today we are going to talk about the 5 wellness love languages that I have coined. And I have coined these love lessons because they've been such an instrumental part of my life and how I've structured my life in ensuring that I have attained good health and wellness throughout the course of my lifespan thus far. And it will also be an investment into my lifespan every day in the future. And so today we're going to focus on that, and we want to encourage you, we want to champion you, we want to inspire you to practice these love lessons throughout your journey. The wellness love lessons are to ensure that you are healthy, not only today, but also in the future. You want to invest in your health and wellness so that when you are older, you can enjoy all the pleasures, all of the joys, all of the happiness that life has to offer. So let's go ahead and start talking about these 5 wellness love lessons. And wellness lesson number 1 is taking care of yourself. Really focusing on yourself so that you can be healthy, you can have health and wellness, and you can live a life of longevity, being healthy and happy and full of joy and great experiences. What would it be like if you weren't able to do that? That would not be so pleasant, would it? So we want to encourage you to embrace health and wellness, and also making sure that you focus on you. How can you take care of other people if you're not focusing on your own health and wellness? So that's really important. There are so many people that provide such great care to family members. But at the same token, how can you provide such care to family members if you're not healthy yourself or investing in your health and wellness yourself? So I encourage you to start on that journey of focusing on your health and wellness. Each day is a blessing that we have. And it's so important to enjoy the various parts of each day, making sure that you do something special for yourself each day, whatever that might be. It could be something very small, and for some people may not think it's so significant, but for you it could be monumental in your life, or it can be something that's grandeur. It is all up to you on how you practice each day living in health and wellness. Also, make sure that you're eating healthy and you're exercising and doing all of those things that promote health and wellness. And we'll talk about that a little bit later, as those two are also a part of the Wellness Love Lessons. And make sure you're doing that. I have a question for you. When was the last time you did a wellness checkup on yourself? As you know, we have so many medical conditions that are out there, and we want to ensure that you're preventing those conditions in your own bodies and in your own lives. So at each decade of life, starting at 20, there is a wellness checkup that we recommend. Of course, when you're younger than 20, you're going to have various immunizations, you're going to have various checkups at the doctor, routine checkups, and that's great. But at 20 is when you become a young adult, and it's important for you to take control of your health and wellness. So in your 20s, people are susceptible to cholesterol. I know it seems so young in the 20s, but there are people in their 20s who begin to have high cholesterol and who may also have to start taking medication. So we recommend that in your 20s that you go for your annual exams to your primary care, and that you have a cholesterol checkup. Also, it is very important to check your skin. Our bodies are so vulnerable to so many different things. Our skin is the largest organ of our body and is susceptible to cancer as well. So melanoma, which is a type of skin cancer, is prevalent starting at 20. So it's important to go to a dermatologist and make sure that that is something that you do not have. Also, check your skin, check your body outside from head to toe. It's important to check your skin. And if you see anything unusual, make sure that you note that and speak to your primary care or a physician about that. Now, for women and men, there are also other checkups. For women, you want to make sure that you are checking and having your annual exam with your gynecologist. And then for men, you're also wanting to make sure you're having your annual exam with your primary care. And then if they see, of course, that you may need other services from other specialists, they will refer you accordingly. Now, in your 30s, continue on that journey of checking your skin, checking your cholesterol, checking other areas of your body. Specifically, diabetes starts in your 30s. It starts to become more prevalent in the 30s. Of course, there's juvenile diabetes, and then there are adult diabetes, but adult diabetes tends to be prevalent starting in their 30s. So make sure that you're having that checked, and it's just a quick finger stick to get some information on your blood glucose levels. And if there is a concern, then your primary care will certainly instruct you accordingly. Also, it is very important to get your eye examined. This is the time period that you see eyes changing, the eyesight changing, and also it's a time to detect whether you're predisposed or may have glaucoma, macular degeneration, cataracts, and other eye issues. So it's important to get your vision checked as well at this 30-year decade time span. Moving on to the 40s. The 40s is when generally people tend to slow down. Generally when people are at their peak in high stress, it could be from work, it could be family life, it could be so many different things intertwined together that causes a lot of stress. So cardiovascular disease, heart disease is one concern in the 40s. Heart disease. Heart disease still continues to be the #1 condition that kills people in the United States by far. So it's important to make sure that you are getting your blood pressure checked. Studies have recently come out with new standards for blood pressure. 130/80 is the limit. If you're at that level or teetering over that, that is concern because it could be pre-hypertension. Hypertension is when the blood pressure tends to be on the higher level because the heart is not working efficiently as it should be. So it's so important to make sure that you are getting blood pressure checks, continue your cholesterol checks, continue to check to make sure you don't have diabetes, also continue your eye or vision checks, and also you want to make sure that women are checking with their gynecologists and men are checking with their specialists as well, because there are some other cancers to be concerned about. Some that are pertained mostly to females, such as breast cancer and cervical cancer. And then for men, of course, testicular cancer, and then colorectal cancer is also becoming a concern in the 40s. Now moving on to the next decade, the 50s. The 50s. The 50s is a time when, yes, it is very important to have a colonoscopy. It's not the most pleasant experience, so I've heard, but it's to ensure that you are healthy. And if there are some concerns, then they do get addressed. So both men and women should have a colonoscopy in their 50s. Also, continue those checks for blood pressure and heart disease. That continues to be a growing issue in the 50s and 60s and thereafter as well. The 50s is when it's really, really important to make sure you're focusing on your heart. In your 50s, that's when many people are susceptible to strokes. A stroke can affect your entire life in so many different ways. It can affect, of course, your brain function, of course, the functionality of your arms and your legs, your torso. So it's important to make sure you are healthy in your heart, healthy in your brain, and you're not susceptible to having a stroke. So remember to continue your annual checkups. There are a lot of people that don't have their annual checkups for so many different reasons, but remember, it's so important because a condition can easily be prevented. You do not want to have a fatal accident or an accident that, meaning a condition, that will cause life-devastating events for the rest of your life. Yourself, getting your checkups, and ensuring that you are healthy from the time you are a young adult to the time that you are older. As an elderly person. So in your 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s, it is still so important to go ahead and have all these checkups, the same checkups we've discussed, making sure that you are focused on your health, ensuring that you prevent any type of condition. So remember, there's so many checkups that are vital to your health to have before any medical condition occurs. So as a young adult, up until the time that you are elderly and still living and breathing, you want to ensure that you are having these checkups. Cholesterol checkups, blood pressure checkups, making sure that you don't have diabetes, so getting your blood sugar checked, ensuring that you don't have any form of cancers. We do not want you to have any medical conditions. We want you to be healthy from the time you were born until the time you are elderly, until the time that you die, right? We want you to enjoy life. We want you to have a life of wellness. Love lesson number 2, and that is sleep, getting your Z's. There are 50% of the American population here that are reporting difficulty sleeping for so many different reasons. Now, women, their prevalence is in insomnia. It is very difficult for a lot of women to get good sound sleep. And there have been studies that have shown that women from early ages, in their teens on up, are showing difficulty sleeping or reporting signs of insomnia. So it's so important to ensure that your mind is balanced and healthy as well, that you're able to get a lot done throughout your day and being productive, but you're also able to release all of that information by the time you're ready to go to sleep at night. For men, the challenge is sleep apnea. Apnea most likely occurs when there's a blockage in the respiratory system. And one of the major symptoms is snoring. So men are mostly susceptible to sleep apnea. And it's important to get checked for that. If you find that you're snoring more than usual, or you wake up with a dry mouth or profuse coughing, that may be signs of sleep apnea. So that's very important to have checked, because it may be that you're not getting enough oxygen flow through your body. And you want to make sure when you're sleeping, you have enough oxygen flow. Many people who have sleep apnea have been referred to have various devices to help them to get enough oxygen while they're sleeping. One of the most common is a CPAP machine. CPAP stands for continuous positive airflow pressure. So they're making sure that their airflow is open and receiving enough oxygen throughout the night so you can sleep better, more soundly, and not be threatened with not being able to breathe. So when you are sleeping, we want to make sure that you're practicing good hygiene and healthy habits. First is allowing yourself to wind down at the end of the day. Doing work or being very busy or even exercise within 30 minutes of sleep can impede our ability to sleep. We are encouraged to sleep 7 to 9 hours per night from the time that we are young adult to older. Each day once we've slept 7 to 9 hours, we are able to function at our optimal peak, feeling good as well. You know, when you don't get enough sleep, you feel groggy, you feel fatigued, you feel run down. And so it's important to be intentional about getting your sleep. The third wellness love lesson is nutrition. Nutrition is ensuring that we are getting the proper nutrition every day, the proper foods, the proper vitamins, the proper minerals every day to help our minds and our bodies function the way that they should, as well as to prevent a lot of medical conditions, right? So with nutrition, I love what the Heart Association has recommended is the DASH diet. And that's one of the nutrition plans that I use in my life, is the DASH diet. It's focusing on fruits and vegetables, lean and skinless protein like fish and poultry, various low-fat dairy products, beans and legumes, and other non-tropical oils. That is really good and important to keep our body balanced and healthy. And limiting, you want to make sure you're limiting sodium, limiting saturated fats, limiting simple carbs, limiting anything that is going to cause harm to our bodies. So I live by an 80-20 plan. And so that 80-20 is like an 80-20 DASH plan where 80% of my time I focus on healthy foods. Like I said, the fruits, the vegetables, lean proteins, beans and nuts and legumes, and just the healthy oils. And 20% of my time, I allow myself to enjoy various foods that I love. That includes going out to eat. That includes holidays, while on vacation. Those 20% of the time that we want to indulge in good food. And that's how I live my life, and that's the way I've been able to be balanced with my nutrition. I don't have any medical conditions, which I'm blessed for that, because I do have a family history of several medical conditions, but I've been able to fight that with my wellness program of a good nutrition as well as exercise. And that is a segue into the fourth wellness love lesson. The fourth wellness love lesson is physical activity. The Heart Association encourages everyone to have at least 150 minutes of moderate exercise per week. That is cardiovascular exercise, meaning walking, biking, jogging, swimming, any of those types of cardiovascular aerobic exercise is really important. It's also recommended to have at least 2 days a week of weight training. Weight training is so important because it helps to prevent osteoporosis, which can be a problem in many women from the time that they're in their 40s and progressive life. It is so important to do weight training. It helps for prevention. It also helps for balance in the body. It helps to prevent various musculoskeletal conditions as well. So when you're doing weight training, we recommend at least 2 days a week, 8 to 10 exercises, at least 8 to 10 strengthening exercises for the major muscles throughout the body from head to toe. So it's important to keep your body strengthened and a good cardiovascular exercise program so that you can prevent so many different conditions. During the time that people are in their 50s, 60s, and greater in age, they are prone to, like I said before, osteoporosis, problems with their bone density. Secondly, there's an increased prevalence of falls, unfortunately. Now, if your body is strong and well balanced from doing cardiovascular exercise, from doing weight training, then your risk of a lot of medical conditions, as well as falls and other problems, is drastically decreased. So physical exercise is the fundamentals in preventing physical ailments of the body. So you want to ensure and encourage that through your exercise program. And with physical activity, you want to ensure consistency. So I encourage you to find that exercise, that cardiovascular exercise that helps you with that you can be consistent, something that makes you feel good, something that you'll be encouraged to continue every day, whatever that might be. And for some people, I encourage you to grab a partner, a friend, or a family member to go walking with you, or to go bike riding or swimming, or whatever exercise, whatever cardiovascular aerobic exercise it is. And then also with weight training, you can certainly do weight training in your home. You can purchase weights at any sporting goods store. Also, you can go to any health fitness center to perform weight training. It is so important, and I encourage you to do that. Last but not least of the Wellness Love Lessons is consulting a healthcare professional. So many of us need more information to ensure that we are making the right choices for our bodies. There are various medical professionals. There are physical therapists. There are physicians and specialists of many kinds. There are dietitians and nutritionalists. There are cognitive behavioral specialists. There are so many, and it's important that we consult with individuals to ensure that we are making the right choices for our body, that we are learning our bodies inside and out so that we can also make the right choices, and that we are on the line, on the journey, on the road to health and wellness. I encourage you to really boost your health and wellness journey if you have already started a journey. And for those who haven't, it is never too late to start that health and wellness journey. Health and wellness journey is going to empower you in so many different ways. You are going to feel good. You're going to look good. You're going to function well. A life of wellness. Join this wellness journey with me, and let's make life a better place. Let's make living wonderful. Let's make life experiences better